Welcome back, everybody. NFT IQ coming with video number 2. We're in the studio tonight. Home studio is looking great. I've been playing with the lights and it's getting pretty late, so I'm keeping it toned down a little bit. Don't want to destroy my sleep cycle. It's a beautiful rainy night here in the Washington rainforest, and I just felt super good, super clear-minded to deliver this video, even though I've been working all day. So we're going to be talking about the number 1, number 2, maybe number 3 ways of doing low risk NFT trading. So if this is an interesting topic for you, if you're someone who doesn't want to risk losing all their money, maybe you're trying to build up a base wallet so you can kind of make some higher risk plays in the future, or maybe you're just new and you don't really want to mess around too much, then check out some of these strategies. Now, of course, I am not a financial advisor. Don't take random strangers' advice off the internet. And remember, NFTs, I believe they're going to be trending to zero. So just operate as though, you can't afford, you cannot risk more than you can afford to lose. That's the number 1 rule here. And you also want to implement stop losses. So if you buy an NFT, let's say that you have 1 Ethereum that you're willing to risk, that you can afford to lose, and you buy an NFT for half an Ethereum, then at what point are you going to sell to recover, to basically stop from losing? And say if it starts to dip or the floor is, stabilizes at 0.25, at what point you got to know ahead of time what that number is when you need to sell. And during a dip, the dynamics of the market, because NFTs have relatively few number of eyes on them, and there's only a few listings available at a time on the floor. The floor can dip fast, so you need to list your NFT above before you hit your stop loss. I can't say exactly how much, but be sure that you're listing before the floor gets below your stop loss. Next thing is you need to always have a plan before you buy your NFT. So think in context of your own financial situation, how much money you're willing to risk, and then do your research, of course, on the NFT, but not just the research on the NFT. You need to understand how much profit am I going to be aiming for, and so what value am I going to sell for? If I can buy at X price, then at what point am I going to sell, and how long am I willing to wait before we hit that price? Where I'm willing to settle after that, maybe I'm willing to settle for less than I expected. So let me give an example. Let's say that there's a hot NFT drop coming up with a lot of hype and a lot of social media presence. All the fundamentals look good, and you know that you can buy. Maybe it's been on the marketplace for a couple hours, and you can buy one on the floor for half an Ethereum. Let's keep it that simple. You expect it to hit 1 Ethereum in the next day or 2. Well, can you really project what's going to happen after that day or 2? I mean, much less the day or 2, but really it gets even more uncertain moving forward. So you have to decide how long are you willing to wait for that value to be achieved before you stop and sell for wherever it happens to be. And that's going to be very contextual to the NFT and your other opportunities with your money and so on. Last thing is you want to get out fast. Every minute that you're holding an NFT, you have a risk of it dropping to zero. The project could get hacked. The project could get canceled through cancel culture. It could happen to one of these projects where one of the leaders says something dumb. Everyone dumps all their tokens. It's going to happen at some point. There could be Ethereum could drop. The whole market could just take a tumble for no reason, and it could happen really quick. Or something new comes along and your project loses attention, and that's guaranteed to happen. Every project is going to trend down the charts after launch. So you have to be ready to get out of these fast. And if you're planning to hold an NFT, it is not a low risk strategy, in my opinion. So what are the red flags we need to avoid? First of all, it's too small of a Discord, not enough people in the Discord channel. There's no utility with the token, and it's just artwork. That's kind of sus right now because everyone's pushing utility. And if there's not any social media traction, if you're seeing bots in their Discord, or if there's any weirdness with like the wallet or the website, or you're getting SSL cert warnings in your browser, or you're getting lots of weird messages from people in their Discord, like just no, just a red flag. Just stay away from that, because why risk it? There's a million projects. You can just move on to the next one. If the last thing I want to mention, I've been seeing a lot of is overpromising, and so these teams, they'll have like 3 people on their team, and they'll launch an NFT with a mint price of like 0.05 Ethereum, and then so they'll make a few $1,000,000 off of their launch, which is awesome. But after that, they don't have any plan for revenue coming in, and they're making all these promises like, we're gonna have some kind of passive income for our NFT holders. We're gonna build a video game. We're going to go out and purchase more NFTs, right? There's all these different things that they're luring people in with these promises that most of these teams, I predict, are not going to be uphold most of these promises. I actually saw a team promise to make an MMORPG sometime next year after raising, a few $1,000,000 on their minting process. And to me, it's just completely absurd. So don't fall for that stuff. And if they're doing that, maybe it's building hype, and maybe you can risk, maybe it's okay short term for you, but don't be holding that stuff. Next thing is moving on to the strategies. So first strategy is obviously getting in early. Everybody knows about this, and everyone knows about the musical chair. If you get in early and the market, when it reaches its peak and you're at the top of the peak, like this happened with Creature Toads today, this happens with every NFT, it's nothing bad, but eventually the price will hit a peak after the launch, and these people up here, they bought for more than what the floor is now. So buying early, that's the risk, is you end up in losing the musical chair game. So just keep that in mind if you're going to try buying early. And one of the ways to mitigate this is by keeping your costs low, by getting onto whitelists or public minting events. That can be difficult for various reasons. Sorry, my camera's in the way here, but essentially you do have the potential for making more money, but I think it can also come with some additional risk in some cases. And then sweeping the floor after the mint, once you see the floor stabilize, this can also be a really good strategy. Or if you just see it really going toward the moon and the fundamentals are strong, it might be worth buying at that particular moment. So if we go back to something like Creature Toads today, then I can see now that the floor is pretty stable, just under 0.3 Ethereum, and I don't need to worry. I don't need to be as worried. I know it's pretty safe to, if there's a dip like this down to like 0.25 or maybe 0.2 will happen tomorrow, then I'm pretty confident the floor is going to come back up as long as the fundamentals have stayed the same. So that's the benefit of waiting until after the minting is done and giving it a couple hours, is you can see where the floor is. And I know everyone wants to get in and be like, I'm getting the 10x and et cetera, but that is not a low risk strategy. We're talking low risk strategies here today. So the last strategy that's low risk that I'm aware of right now, and hopefully I'll learn more, but the last one we're going to discuss today is trading in markets that are somewhat volatile. And Head DAO has been a really good example of this, where I know it's hard to see on Nansen because it's only giving me 3 days of data. But essentially what's happened is the floor price has been the bottom of it has always been 0.2. So it's gone between 0.4 or really 0.3 and 0.2, probably like once a day for the last 5 days now. And that's an opportunity for a quick flip. If you know that everybody's coming in and sweeping the floor, and this has happened a couple times, everyone sweeps the floor at 0.2, guess what? You buy at 0.21 or 0.22 during the next dip, and then you just plan to sell at 0.3, like at the standard floor. And I mean, it's not a ton of money, but depending on, maybe you buy a bunch of them and then it is a ton of money, right? So This is a strategy I think that could work pretty well if you understand that the fundamentals are solid about the project that you're investing in. So that being said, I just want to remind everybody that like the goal here on the channel is we want to be the smart people in the NFT space. Okay, we don't want to be just another ape. We don't want to be uninformed, and we don't want to be just buying into stuff because it's hyped right now and it just sold out. I got to get in right now, right? We don't want to be those people. We want to be the people who are coming in, doing research before a launch or shortly after a launch, and wrapping our heads around what we expect to happen, giving ourselves a specific timeline with a plan that we are going to execute throughout that timeline, being open to update that plan if outside circumstances change. If the fundamentals change, of course, the plan can go out the window, but we want to have a plan because most people in this marketplace are just it's not how they're operating. People are just buying in, and it's really an opportunity to take advantage of people who are not doing this very well. So everybody have an awesome day. This has been NFT IQ. These are your low risk NFT buying strategies. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, check me out on TikTok, check me out on my YouTube shorts, and I will see you in the next video.